Oh, what's up, player? How you doing, dog? Sweet fit.
Thanks, bro.
It's gonna be lit, dude.
Dude, I mean, I already crushed it this year as far as like sales go, so showed up to work today in this little outfit.
A retirement outfit?
Oh, dude, I'm tired out. And my customer was like, "You don't look like you're in construction."
You wore that to a deal?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look bad.
I mean, and not only that, but like, what am I gonna do? Sell a bunch of little jobs? I can't sell any big jobs anymore. We got so fucking many of them.
Yeah, no matter what you sell, you guys got a waiting list, eh?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, what'd you guys go to
I've already
for?
I've already done 2 million sales this year.
And you're flat 10%?
10% plus a $1,500 bonus every month if I sell 50,000 that month.
Okay, so
like another, what is that? Another 1,500 times 12.
17,000 or something
like that.
But 10% of 2 million to 200 grand.
Right.
How many of those jobs? So you get paid one paycheck when you get a deposit, another paycheck.
I just get paid the 1st and the 15th of every month, but I get paid when the job is complete.
And then, but do you also get a payment like when they put a down payment down?
No.
Okay, so then you don't get paid until the whole job is done?
Totally.
So the job that you sold, that $200,000 deal, you don't get paid on it until it's done.
Totally.
Which is how long?
I mean, every job's different. Like if I sell...
Shoot from the hip, how far for that one? Specifically.
Probably like September or August or something.
But because it was so large, 200 grand, you get that $1,500.
Right. But like I have so many jobs.
Right. Yeah. It's a rolling 12. So yeah, you're just building it all up, and then jobs are. No, I get that.
So I have jobs that I sold in like December that are closing right now.
Right. Exactly.
Like that,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So it's like never ending.
Right. Every week is, or every 1st and 15th. Oh, dude, I'm gonna just set it right in. Every 1st and 15th, you're getting paid. You don't even know where it's coming from.
Totally. And I don't have to like manage the jobs or anything like that. Like once the final contract is signed, because we do a proposal and then we take a 10% fee and then I go through and design everything.
You don't get paid any commission off that 10% fee?
No. Okay. So then I design everything and then I get the final estimate signed. The contract's 14 pages. Go through all that is signed, that's when it gets scheduled. So I'm usually like on big projects like 2 months out from getting the final estimate signed. Once that's signed, everything is picked out. Boom, they cut me. Or then I get a half deposit and I don't get paid anything then. I only get paid when the job is done. But once I have that 50% deposit, or I guess 40% because they already gave 10, and then the signed contract, boom, hand it over to Brandy. I might like do a couple phone calls like, hey, how's it going? You guys having a good time?
Right.
Everybody be cool. But
just kind of buttering it on the way out the oven.
Totally.
Yeah, I get it.
So, and I like roofs, one proposal signed, job gets done like a week later, and I get paid on that. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Also, like there are some jobs that are paid out real quick.
Totally.
Some of them like a remodel 6 months. But in some jobs, you're like, oh yeah, I just closed that deal. It's going to fund in a month or less. Oh, dude, all right.
So like roofs. Another shitty one is like windows. If I sell windows.
Is your phone on silent?
It's good, it's a good question. Yes, it is.
Dude, you're the fucking king of that.
But if I sell windows, depending on which brand, they're like 10 to 15 weeks out.
Oh my god.
I just sold a French door, in fact, that's 22 weeks out.
Oh, 22?
Yeah, what was that, like 6 months?
Yeah, dude. Dang. That's wild.
But again, you know, I got jobs that I sold last year.
Yeah, man. You're just always moving and shaking. But what did you guys go to Salt Lake for?
To go to IKEA.
That was the sole reason for one of the main reasons?
Yeah.
IKEA, they fucking deliver, don't they?
Dude, have you ever seen delivery costs? For a fucking dresser and a dresser, a lamp, and underbed storage, they wanted like $650.
And it only cost $650.
Dude, it was like $400 for all of
But
us.
wait a second, you guys took the Mercedes?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And we stayed at my buddies that I used to sell with.
Oh, dude, sweet metal militia. Oh, yeah, let it rip.
Right, man. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, bro?
How are you, huh?
Good, man. But yeah, we stayed at my buddies that I used to sell door to door with.
Nice.
Kicked it Friday. Saturday we went to Park City. Saw the sights.
Good sights.
Dude.
Where's the fucking kavas at this time, pussies, huh?
Oh, dude, we ain't got no confidence.
I
I
wanna
do,
fucking-
but it's how you have to make it.
I want to keister that shit.
Booty bump?
Keister it, dude. Just fucking straight up that,
Right near
dude.
fucking anal.
We
Dude.
can film it, dude. We can put it on the podcast.
I don't want to film that.
Can I watch you do that first?
I don't want to film that.
I don't want to be involved in that.
But dude, walk into this place because we were just going in all the shops, right?
Yeah.
Walk into one store, they sell fucking fur coats and like chinchilla coats and shit.
Yeah.
So they're like $8 to $36,000 for
Yeah,
a
man.
coat. And this lady's like trying to sell us on them, and I'm like, "Fuck, dude!"
When
Like,
you say I'm vegan.
well, so I go, "I'm sorry, I'm not gonna try your jacket on." And she goes, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, I make great money, but not that much money."
Right.
And even if I did have that much money, I would never spend it on a fucking fur coat. Like, I can't believe that $8 to $36K for coats.
I mean, if you're a billionaire, 36 grand's like $36.
I know, but even if I was a billionaire, I would never
I would
buy
probably
a
get
fur.
one.
Really?
Yeah, why not? I get like a bearskin coat, like a full, so I put the bear's head on. Even, zips up like I'm a bear. You wouldn't do that? What? No?
Dude, this is how I'm gonna dress.
Were we expecting a fourth?
Never say that it's never going to change. Yeah, we are. Because, dude, when you're a billionaire, you might be different.
Nope.
Well, totally,
I gotta
but
be.
I would not
You're
spend
gonna be
8 to 36K on a fur coat. Ever.
No. I don't care if I was.
Listen,
might
it's
spend-
relative.
I might spend
36 grand is $36 when you're a billionaire.
I know, but who wants a fur coat? Anyway, what the fuck are you gonna do with that?
Wear it.
I don't.
You
I
wouldn't
don't
get
even
a
wear-
full bear, like an actual bear. You put the bear's head on your head. You wouldn't want that?
I don't know. I
Dude,
mean,
you put your hands in, so it's like a baby bear that died. And then you take the baby bear. Oh, dude, you zip
I
it
think,
up. I
though,
would want that for sure.
I think something like that, you should just go ahead and get it now. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Just in case you don't
dude,
ever make
every
billionaire
1,000
status.
costs $1 million, man.
And,
you
you
gotta
know?
wait till you're a billion.
Well, I guess if I would take 36,000 and probably spend it on, I don't know,
That's what I'm saying. Like
fish and shit.
don't
hunting
say
shit.
you won't change, because when you're a
I
billionaire, you're
build
good
myself-
at change.
You know what? I'm gonna
You're gonna
build-
change big time.
I had a dream the other night that I was in a teepee back home where I grew up on the coast of Oregon, which was really strange, and it made me wake up. And then I was outside doing a bunch of shit, and I thought, it'd be badass to build like a big fucking badass teepee, like have like buffalo. I was high up watching Alone. This guy killed this muskox on there, and he like lined his walls with it. Anyways, just to have out there, just to fucking
grounded to the
to camp out in. Just to stay out there right at your
spirits
house.
and energies,
Yeah.
man.
Be sick.
Have a fire right there.
Fucking teepee.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I would buy that. I would buy I'd buy like a little pyramid. Actually, like a pyramid. Like a mini freaking Luxor right in my front yard that was
Made of what?
I'd probably
it would be made out of-
blow 36K on a lot of other stupid
That's what I'm
shit.
saying.
Yeah,
so
but-
you're gonna spend 36 grand on a.
It's not gonna happen.
Oh, dude! If we're having a wild weekend, dude, and you're like, I'm like, dude, I'm getting a bad, and you're like, all right, because it's like a weekend fit. It's 36 grand, dude. It's
I would imagine-
$36.
Let's revisit it when we're billionaires.
Exactly.
We'll revisit. We'll
Exactly.
revisit. Everything's a
100%.
negotiation.
100%.
Because if you're like, hey,
why
I'll
I'm
spend
saying-
the 36 grand on this fur
That's
coat,
my whole
I
purpose.
might fucking
That
do
was
it.
my whole point, actually.
Well,
that never be stuck in where you're at, saying I would never do that. Because
Sure.
never say never. Everything would change in your whole mind, life, way of thinking when you're at
When
that
we're
level.
billionaires, let's revisit.
100%.
But I would hope that the thing I wouldn't want to buy as a billionaire is a $36,000 fur coat.
I just don't even like
I'd buy
coats.
like a $360,000 Ferrari. I'd buy that if I was a billionaire. That would be like $3,600.
Why not both?
Have you ever seen?
And what probably comes with it?
Have you ever seen that
Yeah.
movie with the guys from Workaholics?
The movie? Yeah,
yeah,
where
they're
there's
like
a
the-
terrorist attack
Totally.
on the...
And the billionaire dude's
remember
like,
it.
I'm fucking a billionaire. I've had all these weird sex parties. You guys know this. You don't think I haven't eaten a dude's booty hole out before? Do you remember? He just fucking munches that.
Yeah,
fucking
man.
butt.
Like people saying, like billionaires drinking baby's blood. Like, hey, man, you don't know what you'll do until you're there. You know.
I don't know if I have enough
Don't
time
hate
in
the
my
player.
life to get
hate
bored.
the game.
Yeah, those guys have been billionaires for a lot longer than we have, so they're already done all this shit with, like, go to Antarctica. And,
Well, that's why, and
Fuck
they're
a
on their
billion.
way down. That's why they're trying to prolong their life to get as much juice as they can. Because remember, at that level, if you're 75 years old right now, you got to be dumping all your money into extending your life. Like us, 40s.
I
Dude,
don't know,
by the
man.
time we're 60,
I think
I take
we'll be in,
peptides.
it'll be anti-aging.
Yeah, I take peptides. The all sorts of stuff so that I can try not to age.
Did you listen to my seed oil podcast?
Oh, dude.
Did you listen to that seed oil
No,
shit?
I didn't, man. But I already know about that.
No, you
but
gotta listen to it. You gotta listen
actually-
to it though. Did you listen to
you
that
don't
Sam
like-
Tripoli one about terrain theory and germ theory? Oh, so what's up, man? What's new? Living the dream or what?
You know any of these guys, Sean?
Sean,
Ken, nice to meet you.
Leslie,
nice to meet
nice
you.
to
guys.
meet you. Welcome.
Thank you. What's the deal?
Well-
Well, podcast.
Yep.
This is
All right.
it's the sex party, actually. He didn't tell
We're from
you?
gangbang.
Dude, man, you're killing it.
What's that?
Killing it.
Thank you. I tried.
Yeah, man. I mean, just BMX biking or now kind of more off-road biking.
Oh, are we live already?
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Oh, wow.
recording, but we're always recording as soon as you get in.
House,
Okay.
You're being filmed in the bathroom,
Yeah.
everything. Just be aware.
Yeah, so
For
dude, just
insurance
take it easy.
purposes as
Gotcha.
well. Insurance purposes as well.
But like the nodes, like everything, man. Like,
We're running nodes. Think about a
Yeah.
node like a digital money printer on your computer.
right.
Well, a little bit with the
That's
risk,
a lot
with
of
the risk
crypto
involved.
in
But
general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's always got to be a little bit of a risk,
Yeah.
or it wouldn't be any fun, right?
yep.
So
Jay,
what do
you guys just to bring everybody to speed, like Sean is how
Yeah.
I found XRP.
Oh, you're the man.
Dude,
Yeah.
like this guy is like, man, just the coolest, just I don't know, just most special person in the sense of like comes in at the most opportune times. Like how I met him, he literally came in to an office I had right up the street, like rainy day, like Matrix type of scene.
Like Morpheus walking down
Dude,
the
we
fucking...
would have these weekly
Or Trinity.
meetings, like the Saturday meeting.
Yeah.
So we would have these at our office, and Sean comes walking in the door for that meeting. And we were just actually ending it, and he's like, oh, so we're kind of me, Shane, Sean getting to know each other. And we find out that we're both into crypto. And he's like, oh, we're getting to know each other. I was like, oh, I'm in Bitcoin and Ethereum. He's like, oh, have you heard of XRP? I was like, oh, no.
Wait. What year is this?
2017.
2017.
All right,
2017.
let's
Think back to 2017.
Yeah.
We were all
Mark-
newbies.
No one even knew about crypto.
Not only that, but it was around this same time.
Well, a lot of
Yeah. Beginning of the year.
April, right. No, even April.
In 2017, he called me and told me to take all my money out of my savings and put it into crypto. And the only one that I listened to him on was XRP. So
Nice.
I mean, that had the biggest impact. I mean, I remember after you told me that, I looked at the price. Because at that time, all I had was Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
And then you told me about Bittrex.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's
I
how
remember.
where you could buy XRP. And so I looked at the price half a penny.
Yep.
And I'd
No
made
shit.
so much on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, I'm talking hundreds of thousands. So I was like, oh, dude, if I could, how I looked at it is, I could buy 1 million XRP for like 20 grand. So I was like, oh, dude, I just made all this money. I'm going to buy 1 million of them. So I bought it, had 1 million of them, and just kind of put it away. I had no fundamental information on it, nothing. Just buying it on the sheer fact that I could buy 1 million of them.
We do that shit all the time now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I buy it, and I sit on it for a few weeks. I swear to God, me and Noah are at the bird sanctuary or whatever that
my
park.
house. Yeah. Out there on Cole.
No. Downtown.
Oh.
On the way... Park Center area.
Warm Springs.
Warm Springs. But anyways, we're at the park.
Yeah, the park.
And, dude, I'm looking at my account, and it's just blowing up like tens of thousands every minute. Like, every time I refresh it, I'm like, what? This is crazy. This has got to be illegal or something like that. And I'd made so much just in a weekend. It just totally changed my life.
Did you fucking cash out?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good. Awesome, dude. That's usually
2017 was a good year.
That's usually what you don't do, though. You're like, oh, look at it go. And then freaking...
I still have mine.
Yeah, XRP.
You keep it. You hold on to it too long.
It was a cent, and I spent $4,800 on it, and I haven't touched it since. So,
well, I don't know what year it was when I met you. Was it
2019?
2019. So 2 years later, this guy is like, I meet him at some kind of a networking thing, and it was like fucking Obi-Wan and Luke Sky in the bar. It was just like you could see like an orb. He was like, I believe in conspiracy theories and aliens, and I like cryptocurrency. I'm like, I actually like all that shit too. And he was like, cool, let's get together. And I didn't even know what we got initially, but I bought it on a credit card. Mm-hmm. He was the first dude ever to buy it.
And not only that, but it was really, remember, they typically weren't allowing
Fuck
it.
No, they were denying it.
Through.
Yeah, they were denying it. They're denying it. What were we trying to buy it on? We were trying to buy it on Binance.
Yeah. Through that, like,
some of the banks do not let you buy crypto because they're threatened by it. And this is, it's sometimes here, not so much in the U.S. anymore. Back in 2016, 2017, there was a lot more resistance. Now it's kind of more accepted here. In other countries, because I got people in my networks down in like Nigeria and stuff, and they're like, yeah, the banks will not let us buy. If I buy with my card, they will shut my bank down. So some of the governments, and they're still really threatened by it.
Well, I'm thinking that's the main thing that, that's unfortunate. Well, this is what happened to all the crypto exchanges right now in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Anything U.S. based is fucking. Ever since BlockFi got smacked, everybody's changed their compliance to we will fucking report KYC, KYC, anything that's U.S. based. So, which hence that's where your bank account is, and that's how you have to fucking infill and exfil your shit. So. We got to find some countries or a place that you can, if you could just think about how simple that is.
Yeah.
If you could just hook your bank account to whatever exchange you want.
Well, you can
and you didn't
now.
have anybody that would.
You can.
You
with
can
the
now.
Trust. Like, dude, I'm telling you, they treat it like it's a bank.
Well, that is a whole nother.
So you own a bank.
Well, that is a different.
I mean, I have no problem.
Do you have a trust?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can just hook your bank account to Binance.
Yes.
Binance US.
No, Binance like the worldwide Binance.
But here's the thing that I've discovered, like, dude, KuCoin is comparable to Binance.
Right.
Like, I haven't had any problems.
Well,
really.
no, like MEXC is similar.
Oh
as
yeah,
well,
even
too.
better.
Right, but you can KuCoin, you can hook your bank account to KuCoin because like they KYC. I think this is all KYC now.
Can you do that on KuCoin? I don't
think you can.
I don't think
I
you
tried.
can.
I just
You
tried.
can set up an institutional.
Now, an
account.
institutional thing, I haven't done that. I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna obviously got to get there because that's gonna be a major fucking problem if they continue to do this shit because you don't want to be, having to bring all your shit in and out or like your buddies in Nigeria who can't even put money. So if they can't put it in through the bank. How would they get it? If they're getting paid in whatever their currency is? How are they going to get that into cryptocurrency?
Yeah, it's a huge problem down there.
Yeah, and that could happen here really easily by all these exchanges that we bring even just money in and out. At a minimum, just reporting, not even just reporting your transactions. That's all they'd have to do, and then you'd have to account for that.
What South American country was it that just
El Salvador.
El Salvador. And with the numbers that they're showing right now with like their economy growing and stuff, I just read an article that more and more third world countries are going to start switching over to crypto.
That
because
guy just snagged like 15 million in Bitcoin at like when it was like 32,000.
El Presidente?
Yeah, he fucking crushed it, dude. He bought like 15 million in Bitcoin. I can't remember what the number was, but he just timed it perfect, like 33,000. And it just shot up from there. Which, think about what they do for your country. I mean, that just, you didn't even do any, you didn't grow any bananas, not any oil, and you fucking whole country,
internet money.
Yeah, your whole country's gross national product just went up 40%.
Right.
That's great.
So I think that's going to be like kind of like the domino effect. You know, more countries I think are going to start doing that. We already see Russia with the ruble starting to go back to sound money systems. Back, you know, there all these articles got shared around my community that Russia's going back to gold standard now.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to too. I bet,
they revalued the ruble to gold, and the ruble has restabilized.
Yep.
So that's another big thing I wanted, because here's the thing, guys. Along with like XRP, like Sean, man, deep into ancient mystery schools and just deep information. Like the last time you and I had like a one-on-one, like man, that conversation rattled my mind so much. Like the different levels of education.
Oh yeah.
Like the languages, the language of the slaves, the language of the rulers,
still used
the
today.
elite. Yeah, 100%. So, but some things you've said is like Elon Musk is in with like the bad guys or whoever
It's a
they
conspiracy.
are.
It's a conspiracy.
So that's something I really wanted to talk to you about, was like your perspective on like the Russia, Ukraine, like the whole world economic.
Here's what I've been getting. Here's what I've been absorbing basically from all the uncensored groups I'm in, is that the Khazarian mafia is based out of Ukraine. And there was a TikTok video also that went viral that showed the addresses and the location, the number of employees of all the big pharmaceutical companies, all of them in Kiev, Ukraine. Like all of them, all the big ones that are getting people addicted to all the pills and pushing the jabs on people. Just a huge list. It's all that, like the headquarters of it is in Kiev, Ukraine. So according to all these researchers at Telegram groups, and also Cliff High, you remember Cliff High, the guy that does data mining and linguistics? He did a bunch of recent videos that goes into a lot of detail on this. It's really interesting. But according to these guys, Putin didn't like what was happening in Ukraine. So
like because it was benefiting
the quote unquote deep state, the cabal, whatever you want to call it. So they sent in their military to clean all that up.
Clean up the big pharma.
Get rid of all that corruption. That's what's going around in a lot of these uncensored groups that I'm following. Can't prove it myself, but it's just really interesting to all these different theories about what's really going down.
It's interesting that all of those pharmaceutical companies
they're all
were located all in Ukraine.
Yep.
Like that's kind of
I mean, it's not. If that wouldn't be. I mean, if you think about 9/11, not to go like fucking go super crazy deep, but like a ton of the buildings and all the information, a lot of stuff that was done there was to eliminate at that time fucking massive, huge databases of debt and who held shit and credit and all kinds, like everything. There was a lot of stuff wasn't stored in the cloud then.
Of anything you can't audit in
that shit wasn't in the cloud at that point. They were stored in huge, massive
how much they say
mainframes.
trillions of dollars were lost, like Rumsfeld's like gets
so
I don't know. It's gone, guys.
So
it's like $3 trillion. I don't know.
I don't know. You need to show me the receipt, bitch. You ain't got it.
Dude,
yeah.
You know what?
But that's how the game really works. Like
you see it all the time. Look at.
Well, here's the thing I think about. Like, just don't keep record. Like that's how they cut. Like Al Capone, I think is one of the. Dang it, I don't know who it was exactly, but that's how they got him on like the tax evasion, because he had such impeccable records. Don't keep records. Like we're like, dude, all the records for like the past 50 years. You gotta
invade in the country.
Yeah, it's like we gotta get rid of this shit, guys.
But
you got to think about Fight Club. Remember at the end when they're like sitting there holding hands and they're blowing up all their credit
companies, man.
Well,
Dude.
man,
that was right before 9/11 too.
There was a giant information repository. This was like I'm gonna be general on this, but it was about 3 or 5 years ago. That was in Argentina. That was Chinese, huge information credit repository, all kinds of stuff that fucking just blew up for no reason. No one knows why. Just a huge complex building. So yeah, I mean, shit happens when you're playing, when you're a gangster, I guess. This world's the stage.
I mean, but that is like at their level, going
Yeah.
back like the different languages of different levels, like, but because of the internet, it's kind of made everything wide open and everything more transparent,
It's like-
where we can see now.
It's like
the
Stargate,
levels of
man.
The corruption.
Yep.
Stargate, dude.
Right.
Remember the movie Stargate?
Oh, yeah, 1999. I did a bunch of videos on that on my archaeology
Yeah,
channel,
dude.
and I was like, hey guys, like this isn't science fiction. They might market it to you as science fiction, but there's
It's
a bunch of
actually
stuff
really
hidden in
true.
that sand that they don't want you to know about, that the military is down there reverse engineering and weaponizing.
Yeah. Or just the fact when he starts drawing and talking, because they can't speak to the gods have a different language in Stargate and all the slaves.
Right.
Yep.
And
right,
the human
man.
shows up and he starts fucking drawing in the sand.
Like,
They're like,
no, whoa. Yeah, that's the holy of holies.
And
We
then
don't talk
through
about
that, he and the girl are able to free everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like just through
by knowing that language.
by being able to communicate.
Oh, so do you think that language is becoming more like more people are waking up and they're getting into this stuff? They're learning these.
I think that's
like,
a metaphor for the fact of there is different languages, there's different sects, there's different tiers or whatever, but the secret is that, well, I don't know if it's the secret, but a really big secret is if you aren't working together, if you're not communicating, if you're divided and whatever, then you can't share the information.
Divide and conquer.
Well,
back
I
to
know
the-
it's super
Right.
simple.
Back to that traces all the way back to the story of the Tower of Babel in the book of Genesis, when
Right.
the people all came together to accomplish a great thing. They built this tower to supposedly get them into the heavens like the gods, which I think that translates to me as a spaceport or some kind of capability to propel them up into space. And the gods didn't like that, so they divided the language. And it also references what I believe is a genetic modification, because it said, let their days be numbered by no more than 120 years. Well, how the fuck are they going to do that unless they understand how to biohack the genome to die off at that age? I mean,
I've been listening to some shit, dudes, that is about resonance, which we all are probably familiar with that, but like even now, just even some of the new quantum mechanics and quantum physics and whatnot of resonance and sound. So I just watched this thing on Gaia not too long ago about the Tower of Babel actually being like a broadcast center for frequency.
interesting.
And that when you were in this frequency that was hooked to all over the world, just like we have cell phones and whatnot, that everybody had like one mind,
A collective consciousness.
and the gods. So if you look at they go to the Anunnaki and use Enki, who was like the person who made humans and loved them and wanted to help them, and then his brother Enlil, yeah, you know this, yeah. He wanted to keep us slaves. Anyways, they fucking blew that shit up, man.
Yep.
They destroyed the Tower of Babel, and all of a sudden, poof, you know, everybody's like,
But what if it's also like the yugas? Like we reach this pinnacle, this like peak of mental energy or power, where we could communicate telepathically, and like things were just at a higher level. Then they get so high that we just naturally start to forget.
I don't
So
think
it
it's
would almost be
natural.
like
I
a-
think that there's somebody or something that's trying to keep that from being revealed. I think that a Tower of Babel or something similar is going to show up again. We're going to discover the ether or the ability to fucking.
But aren't we already?
We
Like,
already
you know,
do.
5G
The internet.
is greater than 4G. That's greater than
Well,
3G.
totally.
right?
Like,
But think about like.
so let's say like 100 years from now, there's going to be some sort of tower that's.
I don't even think there's going to be a tower because,
Well-
I mean, they're just going to put chips in our head. I mean, that's what
I don't know
Elon.
if that's good.
Yeah, that's
though,
what
man.
Elon
I mean,
wants
if
to
you
do.
think about, some of these, they're finding with the pyramids and stuff that the energy that they actually produce energy. That was their whole job, was to produce energy, and not. We think of energy as maybe to like power a car, have lights and shit, but they're starting to find out now that they could heal. You could experience knowledge.
with
I mean, so
frequency.
basically, it made people. You could upgrade people instantaneously through frequency and stuff, and so it seemed to work out really well. For whatever reason, we don't have anymore, and whether through cataclysm or whatever that may be. But I think that could come back. Like, I don't know.
Well, it's already here. If it's
but-
been here once,
Yep.
it's already here now.
Right, exactly.
We've just forgotten how to recreate it.
Right, but
that's what I'm saying is once we create it, then we move on and create something even greater. But if our creation gets to the point where we become so lazy, that's when the forgetting starts to happen.
Sure.
So then because now I just downloaded that book, The Second Arthur C. Clarke.
Childhood's End.
Yeah.
I'll get ready for
so
that
it
one.
only takes like a few generations to either
It takes a while.
evolve or devolve.
It takes like 100+ years.
So 100+ years is only
10 generations.
10, not 10.
5.
3 or 4.
3 or 4, I guess you're right. Yeah, my math.
So now going to fourth turning, every fourth turning is 100 years. So either in a devolving or evolving. So right now, if we're evolving, 4 generations from now, 2022 is going to be exponentially greater than where we are right now. So now imagine.
Well, yes, it will.
Imagine, because we can just look at things, dude. No one uses an iPhone 1. So we can already look at the technology around us and we're on an upward trajectory. We're not on a de-evolution, we're on an evolution. So within 4 generations from now, it's going to be way fucking cooler than it is right now.
Moore's Law.
Right.
Right? You've seen the graph, right?
100%. Yeah. I live by Moore's Law. Everything I look at in this reality is Moore's Law. But Moore's Law works in an upward market and a downward. So that's what I'm saying is, maybe 1,000 years from now, in 3022, our mental powers will be so great that we will be able to materialize out of the nothing. But when we get to that state, within 4 generations, we start to devolve, and the cycle starts again on the downward.
Well, I think we're intricate in some of those decisions as far as how we are able to shake off these things. I mean, you can look historically where it didn't work out as well. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just saying I think we have a choice on it. I think the plan will come to pass how it's supposed to, but we can definitely exponentiate that or not based on.
I'm with you. I think at some point we leave this planet, and I think there's been others that have left this planet. Yeah,
I already told you the book.
And so I'm with you.
Right.
That's what I mean. Is like, even right now in 2022, us 4 sitting in this room, like, not to sound egotistical, but man, we have information. I have information right now that my dad wouldn't even accept. So that means I'm that far advanced than my dad. Because my dad's hardware, the phone, the biomechanical suit, if I tried to give him an upgrade, he'd be like, reject it. So imagine, like, dude, 4 generations from now. Like, yeah, we'll lose some people, the people with the means or the people who evolved to that level, they'll be able to leave the planet. But then the people that are stuck here, like, something might happen, cataclysm.
Well, I don't want it to happen in 4 generations. I want to see that shit. I want the pyramids to come back right now. And first all the freaking get together and party and hang out.
I mean, me too, man. But even, I think the next frontier is space. Like, dude, that's just as cool as staying on this thing.
It's pretty crazy.
One of my favorite conspiracy theories is that Star Wars was like a real thing that happened in the past, and like the gods or whatever whispered the story to the guy that created Star Wars. But like Jedis and shit, like they like think that that's real. They think the Force is real. And
I mean, I think all stories are just reincarnations of truths that have happened. Like, dude, Homeboy.
Absolutely.
I guarantee in the 60s, what's his name, who made him? George Lucas? I would bet my life that he was eating mushrooms and dropping LSD.
And probably studying a lot of occult literature.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the references in the occult literature is like exactly what the whole theme of Star Wars is.
Right.
The energies and the Force. Even like the symbolism used in the film, like I think the Death Star looks exactly like I think it's one of the moons that orbits, I forget which planet. I think it's Iapetus. It's one of those, but there's one of the moons that orbits the planet that looks exactly like the Death Star. So a lot of people think, oh, that's where he got the idea from the Death Star, is from these celestial bodies that are out there.
I mean, and not only to add to that, but even the stories we tell in the collective zeitgeist, it's always a reflection. It's always symbology. So think about this, like the movie Star Wars came out at the perfect time where our consciousness had evolved collectively to a certain level where we could now create this thing called a movie that would reflect back to us, not only thousands of years into the future, but to your point, right in the beginning of the movie, it says, what is it? a long time ago in the past. So
The
it
galaxy
refers
far, far
to
away, yeah.
right. So it's referring to the future and the past.
The future
So
and
to
the
your
past.
point, yeah. So it's saying a long time ago in your past, because there is in the infinite yuga, like there is no future or past. It's always happening ever, forever.
Right. Well, and that's the thing to think of these, just the remnants that we have as far as the ancient stuff. I mean, our understanding of that is radically changing, and those people were probably, or at some point were far more advanced in a different way than we could have met. Like
they
more
consciously advanced.
Yeah, they may not have had cell phones and cars and shit, but they were able to do other things.
Telepathy and shit like that.
Magnetism, like tapping into the magnetic energy of the earth
man.
to create energy through like the pyramid complex,
Right.
which I think it was that's exactly what I think Nikola Tesla was trying to reverse engineer, but they squashed his technology.
Yeah, they've been squashing
The
it for
suppression.
years. That's why I want to build a pyramid in my front yard.
Yeah,
if I was a
didn't they?
billionaire,
Yeah, man.
I would do it, dude.
It's a high-powered.
On Gaia again, there was a dude in Russia who built these pyramid
I
complexes,
heard about
the white ones. He made them out of this. He had the granite and he made them out of like a concrete, but it was made out of granite and quartz crystal and all this shit. And he made these pyramids as in these different. He basically made a replica of. I don't know if it's Teotihuacan or some complexes, some pyramids, or took some of the geometry from a lot of the pyramidal deals and set this one up. And they were recording energy not only there, but also like far away in their hotel room and shit, just by being there and on being different levels inside and outside of it. There was all these different fluctuations in all these different magnetic readings. And I mean, obviously there's something to that shit, dude. And if you could have that, I mean, that's why they keep crushing it.
Have you heard of
the main
ley
reasons.
lines? Have you heard of ley lines?
Oh, yeah.
They're like the it's like tapping in on the earth. There's these energy centers, and that's where all these ancient sites are built, on these high magnetic energy centers. So I think they're just tapping into the earth energy and probably utilizing it. I think these all pyramid complexes, I think of them more as applications, like hardware applications. They probably had multiple use cases. As long as if you can tap into that energy, who knows? There's no limit to what you could use it for.
So I think we're going to find that out soon, and that's going to be, I don't know, just a crazy prediction, but I think that's going to be a catalyst that's going to really decouple, I guess, our current reality as far as our energy resources and what that even means. Energy, like we think of energy.
So what do you think about China producing that sun? Like something that was like 5 times hotter than the sun?
I think if it's I was just listening to a Sam Tripoli, and there was a guy on there who said, right now, like Earth is like a computer program, and our generation, our civilization, this go around, instead of like learning how to use the proper coding of it and how to operate it, we've just fucking hacked it. Like oil and the food and all this shit. Like we're subsiding here in a way that we think is natural, but it's an actual hack of what actually the way it's supposed
It's
to
not
run.
the most efficient way. It's kind of just, that's so.
And I thought it was really simple, but I started thinking about that, and I was like, wow, like medicine, food, energy, how we, our houses, how we live, everything.
Wow.
Like it works in our context, but with the information that we're receiving, it's like, well, there could be a different way, and it's like, well, that's kind of a hacking. Like we just kind of skipped the whole process of going out in nature.
But we were just ready for that
shit.
part. We wouldn't be living the life we're living if we weren't meant to live it,
Yeah.
So it's like, I see, we had to go through that to realize our mistakes.
Right.
Like,
So we're
there's
gonna figure
fucking-
out like, we're hacking this shit. Like, wait a minute. Why aren't we doing it the right way? Like, what is that? And probably it will be a lot better. People would probably, I would imagine, with these pyramids and earth oil energy or whatever you want to call it, is probably a lot more peaceful and cooperative than the hack. I mean, a hack is kind of intuitive of some kind of a violation or some kind of a
if you think about
malicious intent.
The way that it's been hacked, the way you described, where we're using fossil fuels and all this and hooked up to this centralized power grid, like that's the hack from those central bankers that are trying to control everything.
Right.
And they're the ones that have been suppressing technology for years. I mean, the suppression of technology and the suppression of free energy and stuff like that dates all the way back to Greek mythology.
Which is when? How long ago?
Thousands of years ago.
Right, with fire. Prometheus.
Yeah, Prometheus,
Yeah.
the fire story.
And
that
he
was
stole
one
the
of the first
fire
ones.
from the gods.
Yeah.
And
and Zeus
again,
punished him.
Another metaphor of like, there is this knowledge or something that we're not supposed to have, and each time we go and get it or get close to getting it, there's catastrophe.
Yeah, the controllers don't like it.
Yeah, and we're starting over again. But consciousness is kind of that underlying big brother that's standing behind us. That's
right?
like, you know, and it's like it's like, cool. You want to go that way? We'll go that way. You go this way?
Yeah.
But it's constantly, unlike some of our crypto charts right now, it's just constantly going up. You know, there's small little downturns, but it's on an upward trajectory most of the way.
Yeah, man, that's just I don't know, man.
I got a bad cramp. Sorry.
Joe Rogan just posted that they found a dinosaur that had been killed by an asteroid.
Yeah, what about that? Like preserved it like really well. That'll be
Yeah, man, there's shit.
some shit like that. Like
Dude,
if they
there's-
recreated a dinosaur like Jurassic Park, man.
Well, like you said, 1,000 years from now, I mean, some of this shit is obviously fucking hundreds of millions of years old. So, I mean, we can't even comprehend what has happened.
Yeah,
between
well, I
now and
mean,
then.
they found all those stone tablets buried in down in like Iraq and stuff that have the ancient Sumerian kings list, and this dates back like 450,000 years.
Yeah.
Oh
And the reign of each king, and again the records, they want us to think that it's just some mythological shit that they were all sitting around making up because they were fucking, I don't know, had all this extra time when they're supposedly hunting and gathering and shit.
Well,
you know.
also imagine
But
this is that
it's pretty precise.
once like we get to that level of conscious evolution where like let's say we can travel intergalactically or we can even travel in time. Rather than traveling in time and messing things up, we can leave clues.
Well,
So it's just those people at that time that built like the pyramids and these advanced or just different technologies. Like, what if they leave clues knowing
Like
that something's going to come around?
like the
again?
pyramids themselves.
Do you think that's what the crop circles are?
I don't know. I haven't looked enough into crop circles. I think it's all a clue. Like even. It's all, I see it as like this, the whole entire universe in its infancy is just one like machine that works like so perfectly. Our ego minds at this level of consciousness, like to even think we have it figured out is so fucking ignorant because it's so perfect. So the way I see it, it's just this constantly never-ending mishmash of evolution and de-evolution, and I don't know, man. We are here, so we're just merging through it, you know.
Right.
Going with the flow. You know,
Yeah.
in the occult literature I read, it speaks about how the highest level of intelligence is unutterable. So we can't even describe it in our words, according to occult literature.
We have no foundation to even define it.
But that in itself, if you think about some of the ancient technologies and some of the ancient even just their megalithic structures, a lot of the information says that they had this, it was through resonance. And I know I said that before, through these harmonics.
Cymatic frequencies.
So
Yeah.
and some even say was that they were able to speak these words and levitate rocks or do these amazing things. And again, you look at a lot of the hieroglyphs and pictoglyphs and stuff, you know, they have these little bags. There's a guy, have you ever heard of the Coral Palace in Florida?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there.
We've
too.
all been there.
I've never been there.
You
but
haven't?
no,
Oh, dude,
you gotta go there.
Skelton, bro.
Dude,
Yeah.
They had
that guy said he figured out, you know, he figured it out. He
Yeah.
figured out, and obviously look what he did. I mean, what, you know, if you were, I mean, he was building with massive tonnage. I mean,
Well, there was a
you wouldn't do
rock
that if you
that
had to move it manually.
Yeah,
there was
no
a rock
way.
that had fallen when I was there, and it was like the big rock on the little tiny stone on like a little point or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there, they said that they've had like tons and tons of people there trying to figure out how to get those two
Put it
to,
back together.
to
Yeah,
put it back
man.
together,
They
and
can't do it.
they can't do it. They can't figure it out.
So some people like Edward Leeds Scanlon or Tesla, like they're so far ahead of their time that they can tap into that energy. Whereas the collective, the majority, like we're just not ready for it. On our evolutionary path, we're not ready for it. That's why it gets squashed or whatever. But even if it gets squashed, it ends up coming back out exactly when we're ready for it. So I'm not... all these technologies, they're just in this infinite timeline. It's not to say that it's the very peak of our consciousness, because again, like what Sean was saying, the peak of our consciousness, like we can't even come close to understanding it, because what you're even talking about is still trying to control the gross matter reality. Like there are realities beyond our perception in other dimensions.
Well, I was going to say different dimensions.
Yeah.
That, I mean, well, there's all kinds of evidence of that shit too. Have you ever heard of? I'm gonna forget his name, but it's the missing 411 guy. The author who
I've heard of the website. That's like all the people that go missing.
These people that go missing, and mostly he does national parks, but he's taken thousands of cases and kind of overlaid it. And he doesn't specifically say that it has to do with like ancient whatevers, but he's found these elements that are common in all these appearances. It's generally they're around some kind of granite. There's moving water.
No way.
Yeah, and it's right before either there's a storm right before or after, and these people just fucking up and vanish. There was a guy who was running a race in Argentina, like a race, like a
marathon,
like an ultra marathon thing, right? Like so, there's all these people, all this stuff. This dude's fucking running. He's running through this part, just up and disappears, gone. Wow. To this day,
you're looking at all these people in Walmart, the missing 411 page.
So he never says it, but if you start to think about like where some of these pyramids were built and the structures that they had, and maybe the forces they will generate, not only we think of energy, even trying to be like forward thinking of like healing and consciousness, but it may have been dimensional as well. And so, most of these pyramids and a lot of this stuff they're finding now are built where they're all granite. They have tons of quartz crystal in them. There's water that flows underneath them
that generates,
and they're sitting on these ley lines. So it's like if you were in a natural place, probably they're all over the place.
So here's a theory. What if these time portals or these wormholes that you speak of, it's a naturally occurring phenomenon on our planet, just like electricity is a naturally occurring phenomenon. And, we've harnessed electricity and reverse engineered it, like that light right there. Yeah. And what if these time portals is also something that could be harnessed, reverse engineered, like in the movie Stargate?
Well, they have been. We can see it in the past. Yep. For some reason.
We always have to reverse engineer things from where we are. We'll discover. Because electricity has... don't quote me on this, but it's 200 years. Less than 200
we've
years.
Domesticated it.
Right. It's always been here, and it will always be here forever, in infinity.
Right.
So that means time travel already exists. We're just catching up to the discovery of it, but then one day we'll even forget it.
Well,
I saw
very possible. If you time traveled back to a place where they hadn't figured that out yet, then.
But we wouldn't even have the idea if it weren't a potentiality.
The government has been releasing files on it, like what they know about aliens, and the most recent one said that they know of 1,500 pregnant ladies that were abducted and have come back with radiation burns.
No way.
Oh man,
they're having
1,500, and that's no, they were already pregnant. But what I'm saying is they came back from being abducted, and it was like 1,500 of them were showing signs of like radiation burns and stuff like that. So, that's what the government has released, and there's other stuff that they've released.
Right, recently. But how long have they been making movies about that kind of shit too, though? So it's nice that they're releasing it, but it's like.
I don't unless I talk to a lady and then she shows me the burns and an alien baby, I don't believe it. Because I don't believe them, the government.
Yeah,
I don't believe anything they say. 0%. 0%.
Yeah. What if the whole, how they have the Freedom of Information Act where a lot of people are getting these documents? What if the government is inserting misinformation into those documents in the Freedom of
I would do that.
Just to manipulate the consciousness for some agenda?
Yeah,
who knows?
Hey, they double, triple.
It's all a crock of
They
shit.
double swear that that's real shit. Come on now, they wouldn't lie twice.
That's like on Instagram whenever you see. Somebody say something, they're like, where do you get this information? Trust me, bro.
I heard it on a podcast.
I read a headline.
I heard it on a podcast, yeah.
We're just sharing a link to a headline. Hey, you read the whole article. Yeah. I just read the headline. Yeah. You read the rest.
Yeah, and I'm not going to provide the link because I'm too lazy to do that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just trust me, bro.
Yeah, just trust me, man.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wild.
But speaking of podcasts, that one with Sam Tripoli, that last one I sent you, they were talking about terrain theory and germ theory. They dive off into just a bunch of stuff. They got this guy in there named Dr. Bear Lando. Have you ever heard of? I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him. I've heard the name before, but
Bear Lando.
Yeah. But they're talking about time travel towards the end, and they're bringing in kind of a whole, which isn't like a new thing, but just kind of a health perspective, like a resonant perspective, and then they bring in the germ and the terrain theory, talking about how there are no viruses, there are none of that shit. But the point is that time travel, once these things are kind of aligned in your body and your mind, are able to like pick up whatever the energy or the resonance is, as Sam was calling it, the ether, that you can just, I mean, time travel is in your mind. And like
I've time traveled already.
Yeah,
man, I've had some crazy time
right.
But speaking of though, you going to that retreat still?
Mm-hmm.
When is it?
The 22nd, so not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh dang, man!
Yeah,
ayahuasca retreat.
Oh wow!
Second go around. I'm gonna go back and give it a shot with all my newfound knowledge and see if it's a little different.
Time to meet Mr. Pukey.
What's that?
Time to meet Mr. Pukey.
I didn't puke that whole time. I didn't throw up at all the first time. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of nervous.
Yeah, I hope you time travel.
I hope so too.
That's a great experience to time travel.
Yeah, that shit the first time was I didn't time travel, but it showed me some pretty wild shit. That,
I mean, because it has to be in our consciousness. Because even what you're saying right now, sorry to cut you off, but everything you experienced was in your mind's eye, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was in my mind, but I don't know who was there with me or what was there with me. It seemed like it was some, I don't think, maybe it was just your own subconscious. Like,
did it seem as real as right now?
Mm-hmm.
So
that,
but you couldn't, like, it wasn't still like this. Like, it's constantly moving.
Yeah,
like,
no,
you can't really grab.
It wasn't like us sitting here. No, it was,
right.
Yeah, it was really complex.
But while you're in it, you all your senses.
You can interact.
Are,
you interact with it. You're able to interact with it's an energy. Like what I was showing the first time was just an energy, and it was doing all kinds of amazing things, and there was all kinds of geometrical patterns and lights and shapes and energy and knowledge, and it was so fucking intense. To try to interact with it was like.
Have you ever seen Men in Black?
Dude, like super extreme. So this time I'm hoping to.
It was introducing itself to you.
Exactly.
Have you ever seen Men in Black?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Have you seen it?
I mean,
with Will Smith?
Yeah, with Will Smith. When she's like, Edgar, your face is saggy. And then he like grabs his head and pulls it back and goes, is that better? That's how I felt like, because I smoked DMT and I didn't break through or whatever because I was like looking down at my body, but I was in like this like light tunnel. And I guess if you get out of that, they call it breaking through. But I never made it out of that. But But that's what it felt like to me. You know what I mean? Like somebody was like pulling on the back of my hair and my skin was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, smoking, it's like, I would compare it to like being shot out of a cannon rather than like going on a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Roller coaster rides, it's going to take longer. There's going to be more ups and downs, but the ride itself is longer rather than you're getting shot out of a roller coaster. So like what you're saying, like, it's introducing itself, because either way it's the same chemical, but it's how it's introducing itself. Speed dating versus going like a real date, and
going on a cruise with the girl you don't know.
Right.
You don't know her at all, and you're going on a 10-day cruise.
Dude, it's because it's solid. It's all night.
6-8 hours.
And I mean, from my experience, like that wasn't the heaviest. When I did it in Peru, like it was fucking, dude. I mean, but maybe that was just my own experience, but it still goes back to what you're saying, and even what you've experienced, and you'll have to let us know how you think, but for me, it's always been about, there's the consciousness that runs this suit, this robot suit we call our body. Like, the key is to separate it from the body, so that it can go and move around in other dimensions and all this other shit. Like, that's the experience I've had.
Yeah.
And so, but what keeps us in the body is like fear, worry, anxiety, like all these ideas and stories,
the ego,
attachments.
The ego keeps you in the body. It keeps you.
You got a newborn baby and a wife, and you're like thinking about all this shit.
Yeah,
it's
it
like,
can't be. Fucking...
Our conscious is scared to leave at that point. It's like, no, like I like my life. I don't want to leave. But when I first started, I had no family. I was suicidal. I actually wanted to kill myself. So when I ate mushrooms, like when I broke through that door, like it was like, oh, I didn't die. So now that I didn't die, I'm going to see how much I can eat and see how far I can go. So I had this crawl space in my house. It was pitch black.
Dude, you're fucking crazy.
As many as I could. And I would just go sit in that crawl space.
Oh my God.
And I would just let go. As long as I was breathing, that's what kept me tethered. Like that was... Look at like deep sea free diving. Like what keeps them is like this cord, because you have to disconnect that. I would just disconnect, and I knew as long as I'm breathing, there's still a part of me that I can just open up. I could stumble my way to the door and like open it up and see the light, like, all right, I'm still here. And then I would go back to the dungeon. And I did that enough times, like it like just told, hey, no matter how weird it gets or how hard it gets, you're always gonna come back. Right. It's like I've had some fucking weird ass experiences.
I would imagine in your crawl space, dude, just pitch black in the crawl space, ate a fucking ounce of mushrooms.
And I have these weird, dude. They were guides. They would like jump around like in slow motion, like, yeah, he's here, like, yeah, and take me down. Be like, all right, let's go. And like I'd jump and like they would take me through these weird ass tunnels and stuff like that. But to me, it was like the downloads of information, like just like the learning and they weren't even like downloads in English. It was just downloads of consciousness that I got. That like I was just talking to about this to a guy at lunch. Is that it's one thing to believe something because you're told it, and because that's it's reinforced. But there's a difference between experiencing something like what I've experienced. No matter, there's nobody on this planet that could ever talk me out of what I experienced. Like I met God, I shook its hand. Like I know what it is in my own belief system. So like, listen, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I support you in believing that. I'm gonna come over here and believe in what I believe, and I'm gonna just be in peace. You can do whatever you want, but man, like. Those experiences just changed my whole... Dude, time traveling. Like, when you time travel... Like, dude, it was so real. Time traveling. Like, dude, it was so real. And I've done it more than once. It's like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm time traveling right now. I'm watching this shit go down. Dude, it was fucking crazy.
It is crazy, man. And it's fucking freaky. It's scary shit. Like, the first night that I did ayahuasca was all playful and fantastic and whatnot. And the second night was fucking... I didn't really see anything, but it was just heavy duty. I don't know if you remember, like I was hanging out upstairs. I couldn't get my shit together for the longest time. And that was it's powerful, whatever it is. It can be, there's a lot to it. And it's obviously based on your own ability to detach or let go, like, fear. Like I don't know if I'd want to eat an ounce of mushrooms and go in the crawl space. That just to do that, I'm just saying that to go to a ceremony and drink ayahuasca and drink 2 cups and 3 cups and to be able to just do that it's hard. I'm like I said, I'm kind of scared to go to the second one. I'm not scared. I'm just
How can you not be scared? I'm scared every time.
Well, I'm scared. Yeah,
I'm like just thinking about it.
Yeah, I know. I am too. Sitting here right now, I'm getting anxious about it.
It's like that's what most people don't understand. Like it's not fun. Like you're not like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, it's not like a rage.
You're sitting in the tub thinking, oh my god.
You're laying in a fucking room with 30 other people in the dark, and everyone's just like
your butthole's sweating and puckering up.
Your fingers are cold. Your toes are cold. You're freaking feeling waves of nausea. You're tripping the fuck out. There's somebody blowing smoke in your face and singing some crazy ass shit. People are coming up to you going, "Are you all right, bro?
Yeah.
Are you all right?" You're like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know, dude."
Yeah, touch you like first. You all right?
Yeah, I'm in my sleep bag. If I'm in my sleeping bag, I'm good.
Yeah, dude. You're like, God, you're just tripping out. That's true.
Well, and
it's such a misconception. Like, oh, you guys are such druggies. Like, dude, this is therapy. It sucks.
No, if I'm gonna go have a party and do some drugs, it's not gonna.
Have you been to the ketamine clinic?
Ayahuasca. It's gonna be.
No. I haven't, but I look forward to doing that. Like in a clinic, ketamine. Oh,
dude, little drum.
A drum?
Yeah, apparently she plays a drum.
Oh, I'm down with that, dude. I'm super down with
That's the one thing I'm super stoked to go see is play again because the music that he plays is so fucking unreal. A drum, man, music, harmonics again.
Yeah,
there's the sound.
This guy that plays, oh my god, I wonder how it'll be that the band's broken up. But
I know. It's
like a solo act.
Yeah.
Dude, but either way, man, those tunes, bro, because that's a big part. Did you have like a shaman or?
Oh yeah, I did it 4 nights in a row at the ayahuasca retreat, and
they played like the Icaras or whatever.
I went down to Costa Rica.
Nice.
And they had multiple shamans, so they had a different shaman each night. So you got to, because like each shaman, when they make the brew, it's like their own signature recipe. Yes. You know, kind of like how Italians, like they have, each Italian family has their own signature pasta sauce.
Yes.
That's how it is with the ayahuasca community. Is each one makes it in their own unique way.
So they're actually showing you their
Yes.
art.
Yes.
Right.
Like, hey, come and look. Let me take you on this journey.
Yes, exactly.
That's
So each time you get the different experience, and they guide you through it, and they have a whole like educational session they do prior, so they explain the science behind it and everything, and then you go and do it each night with the different shaman.
It's sweet.
That's
man.
badass.
You did 4 nights in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
man.
was really really physically like tolling on my body. Like
Yeah,
I
it
remember
is.
the one night that I tripped the hardest. I couldn't even walk after it was done. Like it was so it burned through all my calories, and it was such a physical workout going through the whole process that I remember I tried to stand up and I just flopped back over in the bed, and the shamans came over and they gave me all these like electrolyte drinks and stuff to help me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gnarly. It's not fun. It knocks the shit out of you.
Yeah, it does.
What did you like go through like in like the dark night of the soul or whatever? Like their hardest trips. Like what was going on in your mind?
Well, the craziest night was, again, that night I really tripped and I could barely walk after, and it started showing me like flashes of all these different experiences through my life. But the trippy part was like my brain started to process all this data at like an incredible speed. Like I felt like my brain turned into a supercomputer. Like the processor just upgraded like 100 times. And I began reliving and seeing all these different experiences. I felt all the emotions, but it was all going through and processing so quickly, like literally like a supercomputer, like a flashback of my entire life.
Right.
And after this whole flashback, it was kind of like, holy shit. Like I just turned into a supercomputer, and I think it wanted to show me like, hey, this is what the human brain is really capable of.
Yeah.
Not only that, but like defragging,
Yeah.
like a supercomputer, like going through all your past memory, and be like, oh, that's irrelevant now. Like, oh, I remember holding on to that, but oh, no big deal. Now let's just get rid of it.
Yeah, and it was showing me these things and kind of like and then it organized it and showed it my whole life, and it was like, hey, and it kind of showed me like all the past things, all the partying, all the booze, the cocaine, all the things that were like damaging to my life, and it was kind of showing me that so that I would, almost realize, hey, like if you want to live to your fullest potential, if you want to have that better processing power in your brain, you need to correct your path in life and not focus so much on these other things that were damaging to your health.
No big deal if you don't want to.
Right. Yeah.
But if you do, like you know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever gone to like a different universe or anything like that? Like I have a friend that says every time he does ayahuasca, he goes to like this beehive planet and like parties with all these like bees and buzzes around and eats honey and like just fucking...
I mean, I can understand where he's coming from, like the Hive Theory, because like especially whenever I've smoked it, it's very much like you get taken into like, I would say like a hive, and you're just like going around and like it's so fast. And so I mean I could see like that ayahuasca.
And maybe he's just talking DMT. I don't know what he did to go to this hive.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't.
I've
say it's
never
not possible. I mean, if you think about like Bob Monroe, man, with the Monroe Institute, that guy didn't use any ayahuasca and was able to go out of body. Are you familiar with Bob Monroe?
Yeah.
And he went, according to, like, I listened to 2 of his books after I watched the Gaia shit. And, I mean, he was going out and fucking, there was UFOs that were literally coming to Earth to gather our comedy. Because they didn't have
our comedy?
Yeah, like, literally, they're like, yeah, we came down and we were just getting your guys' jokes and shit. And you guys are shooting at us. You guys are fucking thinking we're these bad things. We don't have.
We just came in for a laugh.
He talks about places that they go where even the things of like other beings that are evolved in a different way, they're non-physical, that they crave. And one of the things like that he uses as an example is just the ability to convert energy into a hot cup of coffee, and to experience that. Like other non-physical forms have things that we couldn't imagine, but that is something that they're not able to do. So. So who knows, man? You could be going to a beehive and partying with bees that are eating honey and shit just because, why not?
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like allows you to tune your frequency into like these other dimensions that are beyond our perception.
Yeah, and I mean,
Did you ever read the book DMT, The Spirit Molecule by Rick Strassman? I mean, they describe a lot of stuff like other entities and elves and animal type hybrids and weird stuff like that. So,
I watched the Netflix version. I didn't read his book, but it was
the book has got some way crazier stuff that they don't mention on Netflix.
I'm sure it is.
Because
but
imagine he did study intravenous studies,
just straight IV fucking
gosh,
DMT shoot up, dude.
Yeah, 30 minutes of just out of body, I couldn't imagine. Because, like, dude, 12 minutes, that's the longest I think anybody recorded, like, actual recording. But I remember the very first time I ever smoked DMT at my buddy Kevin's house. I go over to his house. He's like, dude, I got some DMT. I'm like, oh, no way. I'm like, let's do it. So he loads up the bong, just the bong like I'm used to. We always smoke weed out of the bong, you know? It's like, all right, dude, let's do this. It's like, okay, the best thing is just sit on the bed, take a rip, and then just lay back. I'm like, all right, cool, man. So I just remember loading it up. He already had it loaded, man, these crystals. Lighting it. I took the whole thing, and all I remember was saying, whoa, 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 man. It was for both of us. I took all of it. I just remember like these beings like taking over my consciousness and just like lay back, but it was just like gone, man. Breakthrough, like, oh my God. But even in that time, like, you're like going through this like, oh my God, what's going on? But then like you could break free just to come out and just to make sure you're still alive. Like, oh my God. And then just like boom, right back in, boom, gone, man.
That's how ayahuasca was for me. And like I couldn't really move around that much, but I would come out of my sleeping bag and just be like, okay, I'm in this room.
Yeah, I'm
Mark's
still
right here. There's Gary across the room. Back, just fucking
gone, man. Just gone.
But
man, I mean, it's so wild.
Yeah,
so wild.
It is. It's it'll be interesting to see. You know, so you went to Costa Rica, and have you ever done it before since then, or
no? That was a year ago that I did that.
So
do you have? Let me ask you this.
Yeah. It was.
So
oh yeah.
Do you have a desire to do it again?
I would do it again. I'm not like in a big hurry, but I mean, I'm definitely opening to do it.
Exactly. We have a buddy that is like. He loves everything that way. He has these dances where he comes like it's a sensory dance, and everybody eats mushrooms, and I'm like, I don't know if I like it that much, bro. Like I don't want to be eating mushrooms and doing ayahuasca like once or twice a week, you know.
I feel like I like developed like a superpower where I can like see people's, because I like love eating mushrooms and going out. Because like if you just do the stems, like you get like a little bit of a body high. And I feel like conversation flows a little bit better, but I definitely like now can like see people's insecurities when I'm out, or like I don't know, it's just weird. Like I feel like I can see their demons.
The vibration, man.
I can see their demons.
Reading it.
You're just aware of that shit.
And shit.
One of the first times I ever
it's a fucking matrix, man.
LSD, man. I was a kid. I didn't even have any of this information or anything. We were like 15 and we couldn't even drive. But we went to this farmstead, this old abandoned house complex we used to go party at all the time. And I just remember, like, a lot of times you don't remember shit from when you're tripping, or everybody has some moment where you're all like, yeah, man, it's all about the fucking flashlight, you know, like this flashlight right here.
These chapters.
Yeah, then story. when you come out, you're like, I'm going home. That flashlight's dead. I don't know. I'm tired. But I was at this complex, man, and it was interesting because I was showing all the people who had lived there in the past, right? Like different, like because it was a really old place.
Yeah, and Donner Pass shit.
Just old farmsteads in Central Oregon. So it had it had been built like in the 1900s, and people had lived in it up until I don't know the 70s or 80s. You know, so 70, 80 years of this place, and I guess the thing that was interesting about it with like the vibration with the frequency was like, again, I didn't even know what that really was then, but it was clear that without people there was no. Like the vibration, the frequency wasn't there in order to like keep this place going anymore. And so it kind of like came to me of like this thought process of like wherever we're at and however we interact, it affects everything around us. And if we're not there, like in the scenario where you're in an abandoned, like you're in the forest, it's obviously great because it's a forest, you know, like it's got its own subconscious and structure and everything. But like without that presence of vibration or energy. These people were there at this time where they were farming, they were living on this thing. Now where they're partying, eating acid and shit, you know, like the different vibration, the different level or whatever. And that was just like at 15 years old, and it was always, that kind of always stuck with me. But like what you were saying with your ability to see those things, I mean, yeah.
That's why I like doing it out in public though, because I feel like I really get to know people.
That's a good skill to have. It's hard.
You can read that energy.
The last time I did mushrooms in public, I went to a fucking EDM concert with Tara and didn't tell her I took mushrooms. And I thought that I had taken just enough to like do that, but it wasn't.
About mushrooms, you never know.
Dude, I blasted off, and
did?
Yeah, and then I had to deal with the fact that she didn't know I had eaten mushrooms, and so that's stressful.
Yeah, I can't do psychedelics at raves or anything anymore because I can't even function if I take too high of a dose, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm gone, bro.
I've never been able to do that.
I don't think I'll ever do acid again because last festival I went to, this guy's like, "Have you ever tried gel acid?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Dude, just try some." And I was like, "How?" Today. Yeah, he's like, "How much is it?" I was like, "How much is a hit?" And he's like, "I don't know, just take a bite of it." So I did that. Worst idea ever because I was like blind for a bit, and I was literally like looking down at my body, and I could see everyone like moving slowly, and I could see that they weren't really watching the concert. They were just looking to see what everyone else was doing. But it was like, you know, in 300 when they like the oracle moves or whatever, how like you can see how it's like time slowed down for me. So everyone was moving, but it was at a way slower time. And I saw everything, and I was like listening in on people's conversations, and like it was so weird. And then finally, as I'm like holding on to my buddies around me, I could see again, and I was like back in my body. But it was, I could never do that in public ever again because that was fucking... Like I still have a hard time going to like busy, like big public areas. Like they have MegaFest, a big rugby tournament. And I was like, damn, dude, I can't go. Like,
dude, that energy hasn't worn off yet.
Yeah,
that last experience still affected you.
Yeah,
because those are the best, man.
Well,
a lot of stuff to be taken from that experience.
Those experiences. That's what I've been trying to tell Tara, my wife. She's not super stoked on them, and I'm like. It's not. It's more of like a spiritual, like if you're gonna go to like a 2-week yoga retreat or some kind of a fucking survival
100%.
camp. You know? Like it's not pleasurable in the way that it's like we're going to Cancun. However, it can be, you know, whether you are able to learn something or, you know, realize something in a different way. It's just like when you go out in the woods for a really long time, you learn things about yourself or what you packed or what you didn't pack or. Whatever. So it could be, you could forget your raincoat and it could be miserable if it rains, but you're still going to take something from that experience and it'll be memorable because it was fucking tough.
Yeah, I mean it's just like a tool that you're using for your own growth, individual growth.
Yeah, and it seems like just through some of the stuff that we've been talking about or just looking at like the ability to maybe recreate or to tap into some of that without having to have an ayahuasca experience or eat mushrooms, like to literally get to a state where you can connect to that is seems really reasonable.
Have you read the book Autobiography of a Yogi?
No,
because that's a lot of what you just described is what these yogis were doing is they were just learning how to send energy to their pineal gland and then reach those states just through breathing techniques and meditation.
Right. Yeah, that sounds a lot more reasonable than taking ayahuasca or an ounce of mushrooms in your crawl space.
But even what you just said sounds reasonable, but in practice it's way harder.
Oh, it's way harder.
Because they have to totally dedicate cut off everything from their life.
And that's why it's an interesting experience with some of these, maybe the hardness or the awkwardness or the uncomfortableness through some of these ayahuasca or mushrooms or whatever, is because it's, for us, maybe at the level of consciousness that we're at, because we haven't done like a yogi type thing, whatever. It's a hack. You know, it's kind of a hack where like if you're using that medicine in a way where you've already reached a certain level, whether it be through exercise or discipline or food or whatever, you know, and then you use that, it might not be such a fucking hard thing to do.
Well, I think to that point is, because that's my favorite book, Autobiography of a Yogi.
I need to read that.
Back
I love
then,
yoga, obviously.
Yeah, in the early 1900s, 1920s when Paramahansa came here, like he even talks about like at that point in history, there might have been like let's say 100 grand masters that were vibrating at that level, which kept our reality in balance. But now what's happening is there's a lot of imbalance, but there's more people waking up to that at that subtle level, not at the grand master level, but you have all these people that are waking up at the beginner level that's still keeping it in balance. Because there's a lot of crazy shit going on out there still, that it's still all in balance, because now though the masses that are waking up account for like the very few that were totally, dude, I bet they still motherfuckers living in caves in India that are a couple hundred years old.
Yeah.
They talk about grandmasters like in China, like these herbalists and stuff. They have records of like 290 something years old, like, dude, just crazy stuff. So I think there's masters all over the planet, but they, like Sean said, they've just learned these different disciplines and to renunciate a lot of this shit.
Right,
you know?
they're just not shooting off, outside of town to do an ayahuasca retreat and then come right back into all the shit that you want them to get away from.
Right back.
Yeah,
into the
so
Maya.
a hack versus
Right.
the doing it the proper way. But through technology, through awareness, that grandmasterism is at least being exposed, I think, a lot more to people, and people are going, yeah, that sounds nice. That sounds different. That sounds better than my 9-to-5er and fucking paying rent for the rest of my life. That's all I can look forward to.
Maybe if they wake up in this lifetime, they become grandmasters 4 generations from now.
Could be, or just maybe, they come back through the cycle again, and you learned a little more, so you get to reincarnate in a different level.
Yeah, so
different
even
master.
to wake up in this lifetime is such a fucking blessing. You might not get to grandmaster in this lifetime, but just the sheer fact that you woke up in this lifetime means that you've reached that level of the game.
Right.
So even if you have to start at this level in the next lifetime, man, it's taken you countless lifetimes to even get to that point.
Monroe talks about that in his book.
Yeah,
and I think I shared that with you, where he was, when he was leaving his body, he was being tasked to do these missions, if you will, where he was going and taking souls or spirits that had died and they didn't even know that they were dead and they were still living in their houses. And in some examples, there was one where there was a lady and she was there and he was sent to talk to her, and she was asking for her husband, and he was able to like ask for her husband in consciousness, if you will, and he was fucking gone, like long gone. And he says, oh well, he must have been a lot further along than he'd ever let on to his wife. Like,
whoa,
she was crazy. At this level where she was still in the house going like, why are they moving all my stuff? And he's like, you're dead, you got to come with me. And she's like, oh, my husband. He's like, oh, he's in a galaxy far, far away. Like, he ain't coming back. You may not ever see him again.
What do you guys think about
you come with me, you can learn some shit, and you may see him again. Maybe. Yeah.
What about the kid that was like reincarnated from a Martian or whatever? Have you guys ever heard of that kid?
A Martian?
Yeah, he was like 2 years old solving like complex math equations. Now he's like 9 or something like that. And he says he remembers his like travel plans from Mars, and like he knew like star clusters that like...
Is that the guy on Gaia? There's a dude on Gaia who's like 21 years old now, and he's a fucking...
It might be the same person. I don't know. I just remember reading
the guy with the accent?
Yeah.
It's like, it starts with an M. Mateo or something.
Yeah, he has a show called...
I've watched some of it.
He just sits there and talks, but he just talks about literally like his past lives on different...
Yeah, I think it's called Initiation. Initiation. Yeah.
A different star. He lived on the Pleiades stars, and those people there had a different role on Earth. And
I have to watch that.
Yeah, but it describes all that in the occult literature of Hermes Trismegistus as being able to. There's certain meditation techniques that he describes. I think it's in Tablet 13 about how to. It's called the secret of death or something, but he teaches a technique on how to send your consciousness from your body when you're about to die. And you practice a certain meditation technique so that when this happens, your memories carry along with you into your next incarnation, and then you're not starting over again with your memory wiped.
Right. Yeah, that would make sense, man. I mean, that's if you think about this enlightenment or this knowledge gaining or wisdom that we're all talking about or kind of waking up to or whatever, like that would be a really great goal of that. If you came back through,
yeah, I mean,
to retain some
save all
information.
your memories, and that means like, hey, if you're about to die, it's like, oh, okay, I know that I can reinstall that, and I don't have to start all the way over from ignorance. You know?
Which would be crazy,
dude. That's why. That's what I'm saying.
The power structure would crumble really quick if people were born with their past life memories.
Oh yeah, man, like crazy.
Yeah,
I think that might be some kind of intentional part of the whole control structure that exists on this planet.
Just get rid of that, like thousands of years ago. Like, oh, we'll just get rid of that and keep these guys. Again, it's just a few generations. If you can just indoctrinate them for a few generations, you've got them forever.
Well,
thousands of years.
And then if you go back to the Anunnaki and you think about, if you look at their stories, they, a lot of that is, even in the New Age stuff, is perceived as if it happened a long time ago and like it stopped. Like those people, I mean, think about the genetic modifications we've been able to do to turn on different parts of our brains or whatever. Like, they may work very well through resonance, through harmonics, through some kind of a DNA upgrade. Just, they've already found tons of genes that will do things that we can't express, and so they could just have that turned off.
Yeah, of course.
And the battle could be going on between Enlil. I always forget the bad guy's name.
Enlil was the
and
war guy.
Yeah. They might still be battling it out right now to flip
in
the switch.
another dimension, or what?
Well, or here. I mean, it could be here. It could be it could be the Illuminati, the Rockefellers, they. When we always say they,
the bloodlines, the bloodlines.
Because imagine how easy would it be in this reality to never show your face? Like, dude, they don't ever have to show who their real identity
and
or
if
anything.
You look at the ancient ways that they describe these guys, they were fish. They were feathered. They took on different shapes and sizes. So they record this in all the Sumerian texts and then take that and take those stories and come across to like the South America, like Quetzalcoatl and all these different gods that were all the same. Yeah. And they can trace the lineage of the name through language, and have a pretty good correlation. Like, oh well, Inky is now Quetzalcoatl, and like these different things. So
how each different culture saw the same.
And he was a plumed serpent over there. He was a dragon or a plumed, a feathered serpent in South America. In freaking Sumeria, he was a fish. He was a feathered reptile. Like, what the fuck? So my point is that today they could be here doing the same things, and the genetic engineering, whether it be through a COVID or a shot or resonance or frequency, we don't really know what that is yet, but just through gene mutation that we've discovered on our own, I mean, there wouldn't be anything to just turn that off.
I guess my whole thing goes back to, if that was really a reality, if that was like a plot of theirs, wouldn't it be like there would be so much more proof to validate the claim?
Well, that's where the propaganda machine comes in, that again is being exposed. So it's because like what you were saying with UFOs, and then what you said, like you said, oh, they're releasing all this shit, and you're like, well, maybe, or you said maybe they're inputting that information. Like, the Matrix is that propaganda machine is so strong. Like, how would you, like, for years all they had to do is say, oh, that's a joke, like UFOs, you're crazy, we'll just make you crazy, and then that goes away. No one has to talk about it. So that information has just been suppressed, man.
No, I mean, like, gene mutation, like, what is the mutation? And then, like, if we know what that mutation is, how many in... Because, you would think, like, especially with the internet, we have access to... If there was a reptile person, like, we'd be like, hey, here's the reptile guy.
Well, the reptile...
here's one reptile... There's not even one reptile person.
Well, whatever that shape that they took in the Sumerian form was something that they were comfortable with. Like, that's why they wrote it down.
So you're saying those same people are just clothed in...
They could be Bill Clinton. I mean, they could be it could be Putin. I don't know. It could
be about like lizard people, like fucking Adam Jones.
Well, I'm just saying that if there was this story that's told through a lot of ancient stories, and they're all similar. There's this enlightenment, and then there's this force that's trying to not have us be enlightened, and it takes on a lot of different shapes and forms. So to think that happened,
or is that a bloodline even? And as through time and evolution, like, that bloodline is thinning out more through each generation.
Well, what I'm saying is that no matter what it is, I gotta check out the time here too. Later, brother. No matter what it is, if we believe or think that these people were talking about it back then and writing it down, to think that it only happened then and then somehow it stopped, like that shit is still going on today. So those people could still be here. That same thing, the knowledge, whether it be written in a different language. Back then, I don't know if the common person could read the tablets. So my point is that it could still be here, and that battle. So back to the gene modification, like the ability to save your past memories, like that would be. We all agree that could be something that would be very beneficial. Some of the stuff I've been watching shows that even through the way that we drink water and through just like frequency and harmonics, will turn on and turn off different genes, like in your pancreas and all kinds of health problems.
I believe that.
So it would not be anything if people had a knowledge about this to say, well, we're going to fucking shoot out this frequency or take this frequency away or make these people drink water in a certain way that they don't get. It shrinks that gene.
People do get the good water?
Well, the good water's getting out. Well, yeah, and
that's what I'm saying.
Right,
like in this day and age, like if there's a few that are getting the good water, that's going to leak out to like, hey, let's all get the good water.
It is. I mean, it is just through what we're like. Let's just say it was water, for example. I mean, there's all kinds of research and hard science now that shows that the way that water's treated in cities and piped through pipes, that water is information, and that the crystals in it don't form, and they have all this evidence that shows what that effect has not only on tissue, on DNA. Obviously the environment. So like even on a basic level like that, it could be something so what we would consider so minute or mundane, like water. You don't think about water coming through your pipe, but like if it's literally gone the natural way and it bubbles and comes down through shit, it forms these crystals in it that are super energetic and move around and have all kinds of power and all. I mean, and so, but the water we get doesn't have that. Now I'm not saying it's water. I'm just saying it's an interesting concept.
Drinking tap water versus drinking like down the street where a guy's like put intention to his filtration system.
I mean, even the experiments where they play hateful music towards water and kills the plant. That's another concept of it. But what some of the stuff that I've seen recently is showing that in the absence of this type of water, certain genes inside of our body that we have that are there.
If you're not drinking structured water or higher vibrational water, if you're drinking tap water consistently, or even because water out of your fridge is tap water.
Well, even if you filter your water, it's still coming to you through a pipe. Nobody's got a fucking stream out back that they're having come in. But the thing is that would be an easy, like we aren't thinking about that. That'd be we're looking for these.
That's just one little thing.
That could be something that would be, that could express a gene that would allow us to remember things, that would allow us to tap into more of our subconscious. Who knows? But by suppressing that and making it so minuscule, like you think about changing the world and you think, oh, well, we need to change how we drink our water. Like,
who knows how many other plants have been suppressed that could do things that we might not even.
Oh, countless plants.
For all we know, there could be some. There could be some plants that these the gods back in the day knew about that would like give you some super crazy brain power, but they just kept it all to themselves and didn't give it to the slaves. I mean, just if they suppress all these plants that cure all these illnesses, who knows what other plants are out there that
I see that coming around
that
now,
could do all kinds of other shit that we don't even know.
All that stuff.
And have you guys heard of terrain theory?
No, never. Terrain like a choo-choo?
No, like terrain, like
beach versus
exactly like forest terrain or urban terrain or whatever. So that podcast I sent you was my first exposure to it from Sam Tripoli, and it's pretty freaking wild. And it talks about how disease and cancer and COVID and these things, they're not viruses, they're not anything, and it's literally the terrain. And I don't quote me on it because I just was exposed to it, but the terrain theory basically states that in your terrain, so in your geographical area, in your people's energies and the shit they create and the energy and the toxins can slough off, and that's why like
it's osmosis. We're getting it through just being in that terrain.
Right, but he goes into Louis Pasteur and what was happening politically then, and how the germ theory was like there was like a runner up, like there was another, like terrain theory was also being researched and looked at, and due to politics, due to whatever the case may be, germ theory became the adopted, accepted, which is that some outside a virus is actually responsible for our fucking our illness.
Right.
And really what it is it's this vibration, this harmonics, food, all these different things.
Yep.
But the people around you, not only in your family, but in your city, in your village, whatever, all experience this stuff together. And so through the correction of that,
Yeah, I'm with that 100%.
well, and an interesting thing when I was listening to that was in Bob Monroe's book, one of the time travels that he did, he went back, and I shared this with you, where he goes back 2 million years, supposedly, and he's talking to these beings, these humans, and they're like, they're like in the Garden of Eden, basically, and he's talking to them, asking these questions, and they're answering, and he's like, what about germs? What about bugs? What about viruses, And they're like, those things are here to work with us. They don't ever cause, if they cause a problem, it's to show us that there's an imbalance. And like in this terrain theory, that's what they're fucking saying. It's wild. It's just a weird connection from this guy who wrote this book and had these experiences in the 60s. And now this doctor's talking about terrain theory. It said, so just the knowledge of that, like I was telling Terry the other day about seed oil.
Yeah.
And she's like, this one person told you about this, or that you listened to, like, that's one person's opinion. I'm like, not that long ago, there was a time when doctors were like, said smoking was good for you. We smoked in fucking cars. We smoked around our kids. Like, everyone smoked.
Yeah.
Doctors were smoking on TV, and
Camels smoking in their exam with you.
Right. And they would go on TV and say Camel was better than Marlboro, and like that was just accepted. And yet, like 40 years later, we couldn't even imagine that being even. No one would do that.
Never.
Now.
So you have to be willing to always be questioning what you've been taught.
Right. It's pretty wild. So through that kind of knowledge that's coming out, I think more and more people are catching on, and it's by consciousness's upward nature. Until we get hit by a comet, I don't know what that's all about. The flood and the comet or whatever, that seems to be pretty. It erases a lot of shit too.
I think it's like that next Arthur C. Clarke I'm gonna listen to, where it talks like, hey man, if shit gets crazy, the first nuclear missile or something, that's when the mothership comes down and says, whoa guys, you guys are a little overdone in this oven.
Right.
Okay, we need to
straighten it out.
Yeah, you guys are gonna learn something. Then it only takes 4 generations or so. Mothership comes down like, hey, we gotta now you guys, the cake is ready, I'm gonna come down. And now, just like in 2001, like, hey, an obelisk or something comes down where it's like, I would say even just a mothership coming down, like if a huge mothership came down, everybody on the planet, reality would stop, and we would all just look like, what the fuck? Everything just changed,
Yeah. Yeah, have you ever heard, I'm sure you've heard of 2001 A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's the movie.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, the author is a guy named Arthur C. Clarke, and I don't even know how I got on to that, but it was through...
Another podcast?
I'm sure it was Tripoli or something I was listening to. I listened to his book, and it's an interesting book, 2001 A Space Odyssey.
The book's way better than the movie.
Oh, I couldn't
Countless
even watch the movie.
Yeah, I would never watch it again.
Yeah. But Arthur C. Clarke's next one, Childhood's End, is an interesting thing, and I'm excited for you to read that or listen to it and get your point of view, because the culmination of the ship, but even the overlords is what they're called, even they disclose towards the end that they are just a part, like asteroids hitting the earth or whatever is even beyond there. There's another level of consciousness they're fulfilling a certain task, and they're not even aware of what the next level is doing, and they're coming in helping humans prepare to leave.
Right.
And some don't.
Yeah, man. Did you guys see, I don't remember which Avengers it was, like the second to last or the last, where Doctor Strange goes to another, he has to keep replaying things in a loop because like there's this great overlord that runs the game beyond the game. Like that's what you're, like there's a consciousness that's even above our, that maybe even like the Christians and these religions of the past, like even they were, like that's what they think of when they think of God, like this being that created everything is like this infinite like energy. They almost like the energy would meet under psychedelics. But then when you come back and you're living as, hunter-gatherers, your only frame of reference is the other beings around you. So you just freaking tripped your balls on ayahuasca or peyote or something like that, and you come back to tell everybody else, oh my God, guys, I just had this crazy experience where I met this being, and the only way you're trying to explain is like, oh, it's like us, but it's totally different.
But it looks like an owl.
Right.
Or, you know, like
great spirit, this great spirit that was, it was everything and it was nothing and it was all this shit, you know, and oh my gosh.
Well, and it would make sense, and this is another thing with religions, even ancient stories that share the same underlying thing. The consciousness is obviously going to meet the people at whatever circumstances they're at. Like, they wouldn't come down and speak fucking Chinese to them if they didn't understand Chinese. So through symbols, through symbology, through metaphors, through whatever, it's obviously exposing itself to people. And you can see that in the different religions. I think that's one of the things I think about religion. I think that all of them inherently are good and good for people. Because of what the teachings are.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, in the Middle East, you know, it was Allah is what needed to become and manifest in.
Yeah, the definitions were just different.
Yeah, in Europe it was Christ. In India it was Buddha, and so on and so forth. I mean, you go into the Native Americans, and God forget the Chinese. They have so many different ones, but yeah, it's all the same story, and so it would make sense that they would meet people where they were at and have a certain, you know, so like if it was some hunter-gatherer on the tundra, you come back and it would be the reindeer god, you know, or some shit, you know.
Yeah. Same thing that like we're dealing with now is like we're just talking about metaverse, virtual reality, because that's just the next logical step in our evolution. It's instead of trying to define the non-physical in physical terms, now we are defining them in non-physical terms. Like, now our consciousness has evolved to that point where it's like, hey, like the reality that we live in, it isn't as solid or as gross materially as we've always thought it was. And so now we're redefining our entire reality.
But it has been for this period of time because it had to be.
That's why it's such.
Now it's changing to where, like, even if you think about, even in our really relevant consciousness, like even, and we've talked about this, like work, like what work meant to your dad versus like what we do for work now, you know, like
we do anything. Like, how the fuck does that work?
Right, but just the ability, like, and again, this
it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, just the concept of having a 9 to 5 or making, you know, $20 an hour anymore. You're just like,
how do you do that?
Yeah, like I don't think I could. I mean, I'm sure I could if I had to, if that was what I was, I don't know. I don't know. I say that in a way to kind of hold on.
Now it's like, I know how to figure. I would like figure it out. Like, there's no way I could settle. Like,
right, but just your parents' generation, our parents' generation, that was not. I mean, you don't have a job. Like, what are you talking about? You don't have a job? Like, fuck.
That's right.
Kind of
like,
sketchy.
if you went back to like the 60s or 70s, and you said, I'm making the 90s, internet money.
Even the 90s, dude. I mean, you know, if someone showed up to your house and was like, I do whatever I want, and I trade and sell some shit.
Yeah, and like this internet money. Like,
you know what that was called? It was called Mary Kay. It was called Tupperware and shit, dude. You know?
I was actually just talking about it on Saturday. It was
vacuum cleaners and encyclopedias. And
shit. Man. Since 1996, our reality has grown at least anywhere from 100 to 1,000x. So can you imagine like what it will look like 100 years from now?
Can't imagine that. If it's growing that fast, exponentially.
Lungold, dude. That's the Ian Lungold model, man. Have you ever heard of Ian Lungold?
Yeah. Gary told me about Ian Lungold a while ago.
He's got, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and the technology and the information coming out just gets faster and faster.
And so I think we're on the precipice of like this pop, something that's just gonna pop. Like it's like what Sean just said. Like we can't even imagine 100 years. So therefore, we can't imagine that thing it's coming. That like when it happens, everything stops. Like war becomes irrelevant. Like I remember
you're describing a singularity.
Yeah, but even in that singularity, like we don't know exactly what it's going to be until it happens.
But I think when it does happen, it will be intertwined in a scenario where it'll make some kind of sense. Like
perfect sense. Like it's so fucking perfect. You can't argue it.
Yeah, 3 years ago. We were maybe all sitting around saying, oh, you know, the government, these things that we always talk about, but no one could have seen COVID. Like, you couldn't have no one could have been like, what if there was this? And then when it happened, it just kind of all made sense. It was like, oh, well, we need to stay inside. Oh, well, the government's going to take care of us and these things, you know, like, but it's a fairly decent singularity that has shattered off now, where people are like, first off, really now fuck the government, and two, like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like,
Right,
are my kids going to a good school?
Yeah.
Do I really need to go to my office? 70% of my life.
Right.
These things. So whatever comes next will make sense like that. We may not be able to.
It's always
describe it
only
right
in
now.
hindsight does it make sense.
Just like crypto,
when it's
bro.
happening, right?
Just like crypto.
Right.
In hindsight, it's so
It
clear.
always makes sense.
I should have waited to buy.
But you can take averages. Like what you were doing is like, oh, if this week it's Wednesday, next week it's Thursday. Like you can look at things and like average over long periods of time. That's what I was saying. Like I've averaged cashing out on Monday, and now it hit me like, oh, if I were just to change it, I would bet that over time. I'm not looking every week trying to pick the greatest day that week. I'm trying to say over the average. Because energy works in cycles.
Well,
Monday might, in fact, it is. That's why motherfuckers posting like life sucks on Monday. So the energy itself around Monday sucks.
That's
why. So why not?
That's why. The first time I started doing it, so we are doing this deal where we're pulling our interest every once a week and selling it, and he was doing it before me, and then I was like, oh, I'm just going to pick a day, so I'm going to do it on Friday because it's the weekend, And
I do it on Mondays.
And so Friday was a good day. Monday was by far not as good of a day. But I was having that same thought because on Wednesday or Tuesday, like, fucking cake hit 10.20. I was like, I should have sold that shit on Tuesday.
But you're also the guy that's on, that's what I'm saying, every week, you'd be like, oh, dude, I should have done it Wednesday.
Right.
Whereas I'm like, oh, I'm just over the average. Monday's probably not the best.
That's why this energy works well because the
Shit,
consistency,
right.
the averages do actually work out because the chaos of I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, that's just too much.
All right, guys, I gotta take a piss.
Oh, man.